The nation's health took centre stage on the federal election campaign trail, with Labor announcing it would ditch the coalition's so-called medicines tax. The plan, which will cost almost $1 billion, will shelve a planned one-off increase to drug prescriptions. Our reporter Ursula Hager is on the campaign trail. And Ursula, this saw Malcolm Turnbull defend a policy originally pushed by his predecessor, Tony Abbott.
That's right, Natasha. This co-payment increase was originally brought in by Tony Abbott during his deeply unpopular 2014 budget, alongside that other very controversial co-payment, the $7 co-payment to go and visit the doctor. And while that co-payment was eventually shelved by the coalition, this one had remained on the books, even appearing in the budget papers earlier this month. It certainly won't be cheap to scrap, almost $1 billion, but Labor says that its health policies are worth more to Australians than a tax cut for big business. Throwing down the gauntlet with an early morning run.
And it is a beautiful place.
Right through Malcolm Turnbull's home base. A smoky Sydney making for an odd backdrop for his newest health push.
We don't believe the case has been made out to increase the price of prescription drugs.
Labor promising to scrap the government's pharmaceutical benefits scheme co-payment at a cost of almost $1 billion. It's paid for, Labor says, by abandoning the government's $50 billion company tax cut.
The parents are going to have to choose between seeing if their kids can get the prescription drugs and afford to go to the doctor, just because Mr Morrison and Mr Turnbull want to give a tax cut to the big end of town.
Not one to let the enemy take his home ground. Malcolm Turnbull made a trip to the local food and wine festival.
We've only had two Malcolms since Prime Minister.
That's right.
Yeah, well done.
Thank you. Vote for me. It'll be. You're obviously fond of Malcolms as Prime Ministers.
Biting back over Labor spending.
He has no way of paying for these additional expenditures, no way at all, other than higher taxes.
It left his health minister to announce $7 million to help young Australians get access to clinical trials for cancer drugs.
Clinical trials are not just something that happens on the edge of your treatment, they're part of it. They're part of you getting better and getting the opportunity to have every single type of treatment.
But as the baby hugging tour enters its third week on the road, the kid gloves are coming off. Accusations flying over the federal police raids on ALP officers.
Why is Bill Shorten and the Labor Party not fully cooperating with police in relation to this investigation? When that is the question that Bill Shorten really has to answer. What is Labor hiding here?
This whole controversy, which is blown up now, is because of Mr Turnbull's obsession to never look embarrassed. And the truth of the matter is, the facts are embarrassing for this government.
And they say elections aren't all child's play. Now, Natasha, we are only now coming into the third week of this election campaign, but it has been interesting to watch the leaders take an increasingly aggressive approach towards one another. Negative campaigning is one of those things. Once it's out of the box, it's very difficult to get it back in, but with neither side really landing a killer blow and the polls really not moving that much, it certainly is becoming a tempting option for both leaders. And of course, we all saw just how successful it can be when Tony Abbott was campaigning during the last election.
Indeed. Ursula, thank you.